Okay. Also, wait, let me restart my Discord real quick. Hold on one second. Wait, did I even leave this room? Hold on. Because my camera thing's not working. One sec. How does she know Grace from her community? What a strange world. What does that even mean? Isn't Grace like a 400 view per video Andy on... Okay, hello?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hold on. Boom, boom. How long have you been in like the debate space on YouTube or whatever?
I don't do the debate stuff too often. The only person that I've really had a debate with is Hunter Avalon, but we've chatted twice. I've been doing YouTube for a year. We do all sorts of things. As for debate, though, we do have like a Judge Judy type show that I run as well, where I'm the judge.
Interesting.
We call it Law and Order.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And what, do you take like viewer call-ins and then you just try to like resolve their disputes or something, or?
Well, actually, no, because I graduated law school. I actually recently passed the bar too. I'm just waiting for character and fitness before I'm an attorney. So I thought it would be really fun to have people who they have silly issues that they almost want to take to real life court, but it's not worth the expense and whatnot. And they should just fight it out online in a court-like manner. And we have, we're trying to set it up so that there's procedure, like not a lengthy one. We want to condense it, but we want to make it as legal as possible without being boring.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
yeah, so we have attorneys that will represent you. We'll do exchange of evidence. We'll have pre-trial hearings, stuff like that.
What's like the most serious thing? Are these going to be like, I think my husband cheated on me, or is this going to be like, I want to sue you for like $500, or like, what's like the most serious thing you think you've...
Oh, that's actually funny that Grace was actually recently on your show, so this relates. So the Thorpes tried to come on for Law and Order, but we had to cancel them because I didn't realize they do have so many current open cases right now, and I just don't want to be involved in that. But we even made a promo for our Law and Order episode because we thought we were going forward. The father wanted to accuse the mother of child abandonment and neglect.
Okay. Yeah, Jesus. What a small world. Okay. Sorry, so back on, yeah, I mean, I'm obviously voting for Biden.
Okay. Let me ask you, so like when Biden first got into office, he made a lot of changes. A lot of them were reversing Trump policies. So for instance, the one that comes to the forefront of my mind is on day one, he signed to close the pipeline connecting Canada, that goes all the way from Canada to Mexico. That would have really helped with keeping the gas prices down. And then also, he's likely, if you're a liberal, you probably care a lot about global warming and the environment. So with the closing of the pipe, in order to then cover up his trail because of the plummeting, spiking gas prices, he then seemed to have whatever he did, to the Nord Stream 2 pipeline connecting Russia to Germany, and that's now emitting into the air, into our environment, into the water. It's one of the worst global environmental catastrophes in history, and this is directly Biden's fault. So how do you address that?
Okay. Those are two pretty big claims. So the first one, my understanding is are you talking about the Keystone XL pipeline? Mm-hmm. That was dead before Biden even came into office, right? That expansion, I'm pretty sure that expansion was like super...
It wasn't working yet. It wasn't in... So the argument that they've been making is, it wasn't even in operation yet. So like closing it has absolutely no impact on the prices. However, people who apparently don't understand futures and don't understand how oil is actually priced in far in advance, because you have to have oil reserves and you have to pump things out of the ground. So there's many factors that come in months, if not years, before the price is actually, the price is kind of set beforehand. So closing down the Keystone pipeline and making it never usable for future use is going to greatly affect not only our oil reserves, companies willing to invest in oil reserves, and then the ability to trade. And now we've depleted our own oil reserves to the lowest point in history.
So I mean, like, here are a few understandings that I had for Keystone XL, and I could be wrong. It's been a long since I've read anything about this, but one was that, like, politically, the Keystone XL pipeline, along with a couple other big ones, I think had already become like really, really, really unpopular. Like even under Trump, like these were just really unpopular projects because of all the protesting and all the energy, climate change related stuff. People just weren't huge fans of them. Number one, that was one understanding I had, and then the second one was that I don't think that this line is opening up like a ton of new energy coming to the United States. I thought it was just shortening existing pipelines and then making it so we wouldn't have to use like trucks as much. So like it's a bit of a help, but I don't think it was like a massive blow to U.S. energy infrastructure. But like I'm reading, like March 2023 was an all-time high for U.S. exports of oil. Like.
Right, isn't that scary? Especially when we're depleting from our own reserves. I mean, you said three kind of very interesting statement that I can bolster my point. So for first statement you said was, oh, well, this was, people were protesting it because of the environment. And then the next point you said is, it wasn't even a big deal. All it does is prevent trucking of the oil. Well, if you want to help the environment, you would absolutely have that pipeline in place so that you don't have trucks using fossil fuels to ship oil and then also spilling on sideways and causing all sorts of ecological disasters. So it doesn't really make sense if people actually genuinely cared about the environment to be protesting that. Maybe there were some 2 or 3 people with 5 Twitter followers freaking out, and
I'm pretty sure protests for these pipelines have raged all across Canada and the United States. I think a lot of people get really mad. I think there was also a lot of people that were upset over crossing through really important aquifers as well. I used to live in Nebraska, and that Ogallala, whatever shit we talk about all the time up there, I think was one of the ones they considered too. And people were worried that, like, if there was a pipe explosion or an environmental disaster in one of the larger aquifers there, that it could also potentially be a huge, it could be a huge ecological disaster as well. In general, I'm not like opposed to like oil and stuff. Like, obviously I'm a big proponent of moving towards green energy. I just don't know how big of a deal like Biden's opposition to Keystone XL was. Yeah, like I said, I feel like politically, like these projects were dead before he even came into office, and there were a lot of people arguing on both sides over potential environmental disasters relating to it. But
we could agree to disagree there. And then also, as for protesters, I do think there is a lot of, in America and Canada, paid protesters. So I'm always curious when I see, especially when it's something with oil and something where money is involved. And there's also a huge financial push to shift to the green energy market.
There's no shot. I don't.
We could disagree on this point, but what is your thoughts on the blowing up of Nord Stream 2?
I mean, we still don't know who did it. I don't know if we're any closer to knowing who did it. Number one.
That is weak sauce. Do we also not know if Biden's Hunter Biden's laptop is a Russian conspiracy theory? Is that the next thing?
We don't know about that either yet. No, we don't know the source or origin of that as well, right? I'm sorry. It's so interesting that you accept these things as 100% fact. With no evidence, like you just said, the thing about like the paid protesters. You think people are getting paid? People are paying millions of protesters to go across like the country to
millions. It's millions now. Could you please?
How many protesters do you think are getting paid, or like what is like the method, or like explain what you mean when you said that, because you kind of like skipped over that.
Yeah, so there are. Candace Owens actually covered this already in her documentary on BLM, and she covers how there are several several organizations that you can go to where they will be able to provide you with bodies to show up to whatever protest that you need.
Okay, what do you? I guess sure. Well, hold on. What do you consider paid protesters? I don't because, like, for instance, I could provide bodies to show up at a protest. I could say, like, hey guys, like, here's the thing that's important. Like, we should all go out and protest. Is that like a paid protester? If I like tell my audience to go protest something, or
you're